If you're a young engineer starting out your career really soon, I want to share with you the worst advice I ever got before I started my engineering career so that you can start out on the right foot. So when I first got my job offer, I reached out to somebody in my family, and I didn't really know any engineers who had a lot of experience at that point besides a couple of friends that I had who were much older than me. So I reached out to a family member and I said, I got this job, like, what's your advice when I go and start? And the advice I got was, don't ask too many questions because everybody there will think that you're stupid. And I heard that and I thought, okay, well, that kind of makes sense, I guess. I mean, I don't want everyone to think that I'm dumb by asking a lot of questions. So he told me, just kind of be quiet and stick to yourself and just try to absorb as much as you can, and don't ask too many questions, so people don't think you're dumb. So I thought about that. I said, okay, well, I'll try to do my best. And then a couple days later, I ended up having a conversation with a friend of mine who's considerably older than me and who was already working as an engineer for 6-7 years at that point. And I told them the advice that I was given, and they responded by saying that that was the absolute dumbest, worst advice they've ever heard in their life. So I was a little taken back. I asked them why that was so dumb. So this is what they told me. And if you're a young engineer and you're starting out soon, take this advice. So what I'm about to tell you now, this is the good advice. And don't listen to anybody who tells you the first piece of stupid advice, which is don't ask a lot of questions because you look dumb. So he told me, look, wherever you're going to work, everybody there knows that you're brand new and that you don't know anything. So nobody there is expecting you to come in and know everything. If you did, that would be very, very strange, right? The normal situation is you don't know anything when you're coming in there. So by not asking a lot of questions, people will assume one of two things. Number one is you're not curious, you're not interested to learn, you're not excited to discover new things and learn new things. Or number two, you're super scared and intimidated to ask questions, which could possibly be that you're arrogant too, and you're afraid to look stupid, and you're afraid to seem like you don't know something, which is not going to really help you learn anyways. So I thought about that, processed that. That seemed to make a lot more sense. So I went into my first position with that mindset. But the big caveat to this too is, I tell you there's no such thing as a dumb question. There is a dumb question. I hate to tell you, but a dumb question is a question that you ask multiple times to the same person, right? So if you're starting out, a good habit to have too is keep a notebook. I always kept a notebook with me. You could do this on a like electronically, right, on your laptop or something. I always felt it more useful to have a notebook just because when you're doing one-on-ones, when you're having conversations, it's also kind of awkward to like open your laptop and people aren't sure if you're checking an email or something. But on a notebook, right, it's clear that you're just taking a note about what they're talking about. So there are dumb questions, and those are questions that you ask repeatedly, especially to the same people, because you didn't write the answer down. And when you're starting out somewhere, don't rely on your memory. You do need to write stuff down, and asking the same person the same question multiple times will make you look dumb and, like you're not taking things seriously. So write stuff down when you first start. Ask as many questions as you possibly can, as often as you can. Try to ask as many different people as you can to get different perspectives. But being afraid to look dumb, being afraid to look like you don't know, is really stupid because everybody there knows you don't know. If you did know, it would be very odd for you to know everything about what that company does without ever having worked there, right? You might be an alien or something. So don't take any dumb advice from anybody that tells you to not ask questions. That's the absolute worst thing you can do coming into a position.